At this point in starting your business, you're trying to figure out what to do next or what to do first. And suddenly, everyone has a different piece of advice, the right step, the only advice, a different way, a different step. And you're just sitting there thinking, which one am I supposed to follow? In this video, I'll show you how to figure out just that. But first, hey there, if you're new here, I'm Heather. Around here, I like to keep business real, simple, and built to fit your actual life. If that resonates with you, if that hits home, then stick around and subscribe because you found yourself in the right place. Now, I completely get it too. I've been there before, trying to figure out which person you're supposed to follow. Are you supposed to follow the bro marketer, the person on Instagram telling you that Instagram is your only option, that if you just post 3 times a day, you're good? Or maybe you're not even at that point yet. Maybe you're just trying to figure out, where do I start?
How do I figure out a niche? Do I need a niche? Do I not need a niche? Well, this person says I don't, and this person says I do, and this person says it doesn't matter to start posting on Instagram.
And suddenly, you're lost. And I understand. No wonder you're feeling like, what do I do and who do I follow? But the real issue isn't knowing who to follow and what advice is right, because there's not one set of right advice. But the problem is you need to figure out what advice is right for you. You're trying to follow advice that isn't built for someone in your shoes, not at the beginning stage that you're at. Most of these people are giving advice for people who already have an established business, or giving advice that works for an established business and giving it to beginners, which is even more hurtful. And often these people are selling you unrealistic ideas. Posting 3 to 4 times a day on Instagram is tough work. And if you are a busy, family focused entrepreneur who's just trying to begin, that's not the right advice for you. Some of this advice is built for someone else's goals and not yours. So maybe these people are giving advice on how to build multi-million-dollar businesses, and you're like, I just need to hit $3,000 a month right now. Some of these people are also giving you advice for people that aren't solopreneurs, the people that have teams working with them. And right now, as a solopreneur, you need to get the advice that works for you and not the advice that works for a team. Yes, if you want to, you can build that way in the future. But right now, you're starting with you, and you need advice and steps for someone that is in the same boat. What does all that mean? It means that they might be giving you good advice. And good advice in the wrong context, that makes you feel like it's either one, bad advice, or good advice and you're doing it wrong. Neither of those are true. It's just the advice is not fit for where you are or who you are right now. I've started multiple businesses over the last 25 years. The first one was actually a photography business when I was in high school. And over the last 25 years, I've listened to the wrong people. I've done things the hard way. I've made mistakes. I've also learned the right way to figure out who to listen to and figured out some stuff on my own along the way. So now I've gone through all of this the hard way, and I want to pass along what I have learned to you. So what is it that you need to do to figure this out? So I'm going to give you like a filter. The filter is a simple way to evaluate whether or not listening to a specific person and their method and their advice is good for you in your context, for you at this moment, for you and who you are. You're going to ask yourself 3 simple things. The first, does this apply to me where I am right now at the beginning? If it is applies to somebody who's already making $10,000 a month in whatever they're doing, then no, it's not meant for you. If it is specifically to sell digital products and you want to start a service-based business, no, it's not for you. It's not fitting who you are right then in that moment. Okay? Next question we are going to ask: does this advice actually fit my life and my capacity? So if you have 3 kids at home, your life is busy and you do not have the same capacity as someone who has maybe 1 child or no children, or someone whose children are grown adults and you have 3 young children. So you need to make sure that it's for you and your capacity. Or maybe you have a full-time job right now and you're taking advice from someone who is full-time in their business and they are teaching you the method that works for someone who's full-time in their business, and you only have 10 hours to spare because you're already working 60 hours at your full-time job. So you need to make sure it fits your life and your capacity at that moment. Then the last piece that we need to ask ourselves: does this clearly help me take the next step? Is the next step clear in what they're telling you? Or are they giving you a whole bunch of information and no clear next step? Because information is great, but if you don't know how to implement it, you don't know how to take action, and you're still left wondering, what do I do next? It's no good for you right then. All right, so this is what these 3 questions should do. This is what this filter is going to do for you. It's going to help you simplify your path. When you do not have to listen to everyone, you can start narrowing it down, right? We're not going to follow everything and everyone. Everything and everyone is not for us. There are bits and pieces that I like from certain people, but I know, like Alex Hermosi at the moment, like there are bits and pieces of what he says that I know are absolutely golden nuggets. However, his style of business and my style of business are not the same. He is at a different level than I am. He is way further along in his business than I am. He does not have children, right? We have different capacities. His advice is not my advice. You do not need 10 different strategies, right? When you're following every single person, you're following 10 different or more strategies. We do not want to do that. We want to keep this simple, built for our real life. What you do need is the next step. You need to know what step to take. You need to know what time is the right timing for that step. When do I move on to the next step from there? Clarity beats volume. You do not need every strategy in the world. And actually, that will most likely hurt you. If you try to listen to everyone, you don't have a clear path. You're spreading yourself thin. If you're like me, I'm already pretty thin to begin with. I have children who are very involved, and I'm very involved in my community and my children's schools and sports and that kinds of thing. So I cannot choose 500 strategies because I do not have the ability to do that. This is not about volume. This is about clarity. I want to make sure that this is completely clear. That is what I am about in business. Taking clear, actionable steps. You don't need more advice. You need a way to filter out the advice and focus on what actually matters for you right now. If this is starting to make things feel a little more doable, if it gives you that, then tell me. Give this video a like so I know to make more content like this to help you out. This is why, not needing more advice, needing a clearer area to focus on. This is why I teach things in order. I make concepts simple and understandable. I focus on real life application. And I never, ever recommend anything that is telling you to create this culture of hustle and grind. We want to build a business that fits our life, that enhances our lives, and not takes away from it. Build for your family, build for the life you want, and not push yourselves into this hustle culture night 24/7. Now, I want to make sure you understand, I'm not saying you don't ever have to hustle for moments in your business. You might. You might have to grind a little bit harder and focus and prioritize your business here and there over everything else for a very short window. But I do not recommend doing that and building a business that forces you to do that all the time. Now you've got a filter and you're not just following everything you see. You actually know what advice makes sense for you and where you are right now. Now it becomes, what do I actually do first, or what is my next step? So if I wanted to start a business in a weekend, or I only had 48 hours to start a business, I'd watch this video next. This is exactly what I'd do.